right, guys, and these are all of the materials that you're going to need, all except for the scissors and the glue gun were purchased at Dollar Tree. So this is going to be such a fun and cute DIY project for summer. So this is going to be a life preservative DIY, which is so cute. And we're gonna go ahead and start off by using this masking tape, and we're gonna go ahead and separate the different sections that we're gonna paint on our green foam circle. And I am gonna go ahead and also use a ruler just to make sure that they are the same distance apart. You may have to change this up just a little bit. Now with my DIY, I don't actually paint the bottom just because I know that in my home where I plan on using it, I'm not going to need to worry about that. But you definitely could let it dry and then go ahead and paint the bottom once the top is dry, or even start off at the bottom. However you want to do that, you will see shortly how the bottom gets pretty messy, but in the end result, the front is absolutely beautiful and perfect, and I love the way this DIY project turns out. I hope you guys do too. Alright, and now it is time to paint our foam. I'm going to go ahead and paint the bigger sections white. And you know, you guys, I was surprised, but this foam paints very well. I didn't realize that it was going to take paint that easily. I honestly thought it was going to be kind of a pain, but I was willing to give it a shot, and I'm so glad that I did. It took 2 coats of paint when it was all said and done, but I really do recommend that if you've been seeing these green foams and you've ever contemplated painting them for whatever reason to do any DIY project, you really should. It takes paint very well, and I recommend it. All right, and next up we're going to go ahead and take our blue paint, and we're going to do the smaller sections in blue. And I mean, really, sorry, that's my puppy in the background. He decided to growl at himself in the mirror. You guys, I'm enjoying him so much. But these are acrylic paints. I did neglect to say that. And really, you can choose whatever color you would like. I just thought this blue and white is so appropriate for a nautical theme and for a lot of the decor that I already have. Then we're just going to rub that off from our backdrop so that we can go ahead and just move right into painting our anchor. This anchor is from Dollar Tree, you guys, so if you can find it, I highly recommend it. I absolutely love the way this turns out. I showed it to my sister last night. She came over and she saw my mess in my office, and she said, "I take it you just recorded?" And I said, I just did. And I showed her my DIY project, and she said, "Oh my goodness, that's so cute. You need to make another one for me." And so I think I will. I'll make hers a lot cuter in the sense that I'll finish the back of the flotation device, because she has an actual clear window that she could hang it on, and so people would be able to see both sides, where I knew on mine I only needed to do one side because there would only be one side showing. But everything is so inexpensive, and it turns out absolutely beautiful. I love that you can make such beautiful sold at Dollar Tree left, and so I think that you're going to need 2 of the Dollar Tree nautical ropes to complete this. But if you don't want to have to purchase 2, I would recommend going to Walmart or Michael's or any of those stores where you can use a coupon and actually get a longer nautical rope so that you don't spend $2. But just to let you know, it did take more than 2 for this project of the nautical ropes. So I am just gluing it down the way that I like it to show. And it looks so cute, like I said, ringing my own bell, ring ring. But here it is completed with the nautical rope. We're going to go ahead and set that aside, and we're going to take out all of the masking tape. The masking tape was just to separate the different colors, as you can imagine, but we are going to go ahead and add nautical rope to the green sections. And that is the puppy crying again because he hears my husband outside and he's like, hey, instead of mom ignoring me, why doesn't she play with me? But anyway, and here we took the brand new rope that Dollar Tree has, and I love it because it is wired, and this is the first time they've ever had this. What I'm doing is just using regular tape to hold it down so that I can continue gluing, and then we're going to take that tape off once the hot glue dries. But this allows me to continue to glue without having to stop every second. But yeah, you guys, this is the next step, and what I'm doing is basically connecting this to every other green little section. I had a picture that I was looking at on my laptop, and I went ahead and mimicked what I was seeing just on Google. So yeah, now we're going to use our wire cutters to cut that off, and there you go. Now your flotation device is nice and glued, and I'm just taking the tape off. Now we're going to go ahead and take the nautical rope, like I mentioned to you guys a little bit ago, and we are going to go ahead and start hot gluing this from the back. And what I end up doing, just to give you guys an idea, is I wrap it 4 times around, which is perfect to cover up the green. Now, if you don't want to use as much glue and as much rope as I have, you might want to do the sections of 4 instead of, do less sections is what I'm trying to say, because that way you wouldn't have to worry about having to use so much rope. I don't regret it one bit. I think it turned out absolutely fabulous. And what I do is I go over the wired rope first on the 4 corners, and then we're going to go under the wired rope for the next section. But yeah, it's super easy, as you can see here. So at this point, I started to realize that I was losing, or that I was running out of rope. And so I figured, you know what, that's okay, because I'm going to attach my little anchor anyway. And so you can see here how I'm going to go ahead and attach the front, and then I am going to basically hide that section for the most part, and I'm going to use the remainder of my rope for that little area where you can see me just making sure I have sufficient rope. And then we're going to go ahead and glue it, and we had enough to go around 2 times. And so luckily I had just a couple extra pieces from me just cutting it earlier, and that is what I'm using to piece it together. And it doesn't really matter because I'm going to set the anchor over this, so you're not even going to be able to tell. And so I have just one tiny little piece here left, as you can see, and I am just gluing it, and then we're going to go ahead and glue the anchor right over that. So like I said, the only person that really knows that you're missing the remainder of the rope is yourself, because the anchor pretty much covers it. And here it is, you guys. I love it. I think it's so perfect. I'm so happy with it. Now, what I chose to do, which of course you can if you want to, or you can leave it as is, but I wanted to go ahead and write welcome. So I went ahead and did that in pencil, as you can see, and then I went ahead and did it in a black permanent marker. The dilemma, you guys, is that it does show up in camera, but in person it's so dark that you can't really see the welcome sign. So I went ahead and took this chalk paint marker, and I went over it, and I went ahead and put welcome in the white. And I actually like how it had the black on the bottom and the white on the top. I did go over that a couple of times, but in the end I'm very happy that I added the welcome. If you don't like it, you can always paint over it. Now for our second DIY project, I purchased this scarf, and I purchased these 2 bottles from Dollar Tree, and we're going to go ahead and get started. So what you're going to do is a message in a bottle. I know it sounds corny, but I wanted to go ahead and leave this part in here so that you guys could see that it is going to take a lot more than just rolling up a piece of paper and tying a little bow. I did not realize that it wasn't going to fit. I learned that the hard way. So I wanted to show you guys the trick that I discovered that would work in case you wanted to try it yourself. You take a pencil and you basically wrap it as tightly as possible, and then you go ahead and wrap a rope, and then make a knot or a tie or a little bow, how I did, and then you put it in your bottle, and it is as simple as that. My Dollar Tree did not have sand, or I would have added it just to add that little extra oomph. But I decided I wanted to add more twine to my bottle just to give it a little bit something extra. So this is obviously optional, but I thought it looked so cute, and being me, I loved it, but I still wanted a little extra even then. So I added this seashell, which by the way, I also got from a pack at Dollar Tree. So literally, you guys, you can get all of this stuff from Dollar Tree. Now this one looks like a little beer bottle to me, and I took the scarf and literally just stuffed it down the actual bottle. This took me maybe 3-4 seconds. And then you can decide how much of the scarf you want to leave out, and then you put the cork back in. So I went ahead and decided that I wanted to go ahead and basically put more of it inside so that it wasn't as long, and that pretty much covers how you can finish it up. I took this ribbon, also $1, and all I did was wrap a ribbon over the bottle just to give it another little extra something. But that pretty much concludes that, and here are all my DIY projects. I could not be happier. I haven't decorated my home for summer, but I did go ahead and set it up for the sake of the video just to show you, and I couldn't be happier, you guys. I will be doing a haul here in the near future, which has some of these items in case you're curious where I purchased them. But I absolutely love the way that this turned out. I hope you guys do too. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and follow if you haven't already. I thank you so much. Please have a beautiful day. Thanks so much. Bye.